Hey there, folks. Thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. Hope you're having a great Friday so far. So, I wanted to team up with a great organization located in Hardin County because they do amazing work in helping the community. It's called the Mod Squad. If you don't know about them, the Mod Squad stands for Misters and Misses of Distinction. They're located in Radcliff. They've been around for a couple of years now. It's a teen outreach community, but it's also kind of like a one-stop shop to help local folks who are trying to get their foot in the door with their businesses getting started. And then it also gives back to teens in our community. So joining us today is Dewena Nance Pittman. Thank you so much for talking with us today, Dewena. Tell us a little bit more about the Mod Squad and what you all do.
Yes. So as you said, the Mod Squad is a teen outreach ministry. We have been around for 10 years. We began in 2013 up in Louisville, but the Lord allowed us to expand and grow, and now our main hub is in Radcliff. We provide mentoring and tutoring, and we have provided mentoring and tutoring the entire time we have been in outreach, but God has allowed us to shift gears and put it in more so of a membership form or program form for our kids in our community. And as you also said, we are a one-stop entrepreneur shop. We know that there are a lot of young adults, teens, kids, and even adults who are wanting to expand and grow in their business while also mentoring to youth within the community. So the Lord has just been sending people to us to grow their business. And in the midst of them growing their business, they've been a light to us and our youth in our community.
How hungry is our community as far as resources that invest back into them, if that makes any sense? Dewena, kids need some guidance, they need some help, and organizations like yours step in.
Yes, I would say our community is extremely hungry for the resources and to provide the resources. It's a give and give situation. We have a lot of people who are in need, especially since the pandemic. One thing that our program extremely focuses on is literacy intervention. And since the pandemic, we have seen a drastic decline, unfortunately, in literacy intervention, not only in just our kids, but in our community. And we have a lot of people who have seen the same thing we've seen, and they've been pouring into our outreach in order to provide those services. So that's just a little example of the give and give type of hunger and tenacity that comes out of our community in order to provide the things that are needed for those in need.
So I'm going to roll some pictures of the work that you all done, but you guys are located, it was the old Chase Bank, right? This building may look familiar to folks. So you guys kind of renovated it, made it your own. Tell me about the building and what folks can see inside.
Well, funny story about the building. We as Mod Squad, we are kind of like how Jesus was. We never wanted to stay in one place, and he was always having us moving to meet the needs. But after the pandemic, a building that we had recently come into contact with, and we were working on, building that one up, it caught fire, and it hurt our ministry a lot, but God showed us that he had greater in store. And he pointed us in the direction of the Chase building. And when I tell you, it was a matter of fasting and praying, because we could not believe that God elevated us to the level of the Chase Bank. We do have some pictures on our slideshow of us doing some renovations within the bank. The Lord has allowed us to, I don't know if anyone is familiar with the bank, but it used to be all tile carpet. The Lord has allowed us to pull that carpet up and lay our own tile, but he has allowed us to lay it in the shape of a cross, as in the laminate cell, to show us that the laminate cell is in the shape of a cross and it holds everything together. And it basically shows us that the Lord has sustained our organization for all these years. The building is 3 stories, as in the 3-in-1. So it's a full circle moment. Miss Pittman is in the building right now. As you can see, we've got our mod letters in the background. Our door is always open to those who are able to just walk in. We're currently feeding summer lunches, so we've had a lot of youth come in and just sit and read and play board games and just look for that safe space type of feel that the Lord has allowed us to provide within the building.
Offering a summer lunch is so critical for so many families. We see that here in Louisville. That's also the case in Radcliff as well. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And we are very happy that the local schools were reached out to us and asked us to be a hub because during the pandemic we were serving lunches on our own. And, it was a lot to prepare the food. So the fact that now it's a little bit of an easier process, but yeah, we're still able to help the community. It means the world. It's a blessing, honestly, because there have been people who have come in and did not even know we were located there because they're not from Kentucky, and they were just able to come in and sit for about 5 hours and just feel the presence of God and feel the safe space. So and eat.
So, Dewena, you talked a little bit about it, but you help the youth in our community with mentoring and tutoring. How does that then tie in to folks who are entrepreneurs? How does that all kind of fit together in a circle?
Yes. Okay. So we have, for example, we have one woman who works with us, Miss Tammy Hill. She does customizations and 3D printing. And so she found out that a lot of youth are coming back to us, especially in the summertime. And she was like, I want to host a camp. So she took it upon herself, made a flyer, and created a little program for those youth in the community who are interested in 3D printing or customization and design to just come to her, get that mentoring, and be able to take the class. So now they're able to create their own t-shirts or their own tumblers and things like that. And we have another lady who potentially does sewing and is wanting to give sewing classes to not just girls in the community. She said this is an art that every youth needs to know. So she's wanting to put those classes into place in order to provide those kind of sort of enrichment activities for the youth while they're in the building. And that's just a little bit of an example of the businesses in the building who are wanting to collaborate with us and provide services and programs that meet the interests of the youth in the community.
And sometimes they're employing these teens in the community too. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Tell me a little bit more about that. To give these kids a responsibility, how important that is.
Yes. Depending on, work ethic, especially with employment with our businesses in the building, a child, if they're coming to every single program that Miss Tammy has into play, she's going to look at that child and be like, wow, they've got the tenacity, they've got the work ethic, they are hungry, and this is something that they are genuinely interested in. I know I can't be here 5 days a week, but I do know that there are adults here that are able to supervise. So why don't I hire this teen on to work at the building whenever I'm not here in order to make sure things are getting done. I'm able to continue to run my business, and this youth is able to explore and expound on what they are interested in while getting a nice paycheck. So that's what that kind of sort of looks like as far as employment with our businesses in the building. And then with us, we've had a lot of students who have just been mentored through Mod Squad personally, who have decided, after my mentoring is over, whenever I'm completed being a mentee, I think I want to sit on the board. I think I want to help give you all some ideas. And we are never ones to say no to a good idea and to good help. So there have been a lot of youth who are willing to come on board with us and sit on our board and shove out and push out ideas for youth in the community while also simultaneously working with the business owners. And sometimes it's an either or situation, but we love the fact that youth are starting to pour back in and they're starting to find their interests and expound on their interests. And if a paycheck comes with it, they are not mad about that either. So
that is great. Dewena, tell me a little bit more. The reason why we're chatting also today is to bring awareness for the work that you all do, but you all have a really important fundraiser that's coming up in just a matter of days. It's called Pies with a Purpose, Cake for a Cause. It's coming up on, the June 29th. Tell us more about this, and you all have tickets available. If you've been touched by what Dewena is doing in the community with Mod Squad, and you're like, you know what, I like what she's doing, I want to help her out. This is a great way to get involved.
Yes. So Pies with a Purpose, Cakes for a Cause was a fundraiser that was laid on Miss Pittman's heart. God has shown us that we cannot do it all alone. Like I said, we love any type of help and volunteership, but sometimes help and volunteership doesn't necessarily come with the funds. And as a Christian organization, we don't want to rely on grants because a lot of times with grants, they will force us or unnecessarily encourage us to remove Christ from our program. And that is not something that we are willing to do. We are not a program that is willing to compromise our Christianity or our faith in Christ. So God said, pies with a purpose, cakes with a cause. He showed it to Miss Pittman in the form of a movie. And I'm gonna butcher the movie because it's before my time, but there was a woman who needed to pay off her mortgage and she didn't have the funds. But the Lord laid it on her heart to create pies, and she would sell these pies, and over time people were just loving the pies because she was a woman who could cook. They were loving the pies and they kept buying and buying, and they were telling their friends, and all of a sudden this thing blew up way more than what she could imagine. And so when God first laid it on Miss Pittman's heart, it was kind of sort of the same thing of we were starting small, and God just allowed it to blow up way more than we could ever imagine. With Pies with a Purpose, Cakes with a Cause, we are just asking that you would provide a donation or even a sponsorship. And with that, we have a chef who is able to provide you with a custom peach cobbler or an apple pie. I do believe those are the only two fruits that I can think of off the top of my head that we know for sure. And not only that, but you also get to buy a sponsorship where you're able to have your business logo on our shirt. And if you're not a business, you're just an individual, your individual name can go on the shirt, on the banner, and things like that. And with the fundraiser, it's a 3-piecer. Like I said, 3 in 1. There's also a celebrity basketball game that is going to be hosted the weekend of June 30th. And there's a celebrity bowling game that is going to be hosted that weekend as well. And there's more information about that on our Facebook page. The tickets to those 2 events are $25. But if you decide that you want to come to both events and still sponsor and still get your name on a logo, all of that information is on our Facebook page, and we are more than happy to accept any donations that or any sponsorship that anyone in the community has to offer. So,
you heard Joanna mention Facebook page. I have put a link on it here on this stream, so you can find more information on the Mod Squad Teen Outreach Ministry Facebook page. Just search it or click on this link, and you'll find more information on their upcoming event and how you can get involved. Joanna, why do you do this work?
Honestly, I've been doing, I got to put quotes around doing this work since the Mod Squad was first founded in 2013. But when it was first founded, it was teens only. And I was in the 5th grade, and all of the teens were like, no, you can't be in. But I was my mama's road dog. So I was always right there with her. And just seeing her strength and her spirit and her faith in Christ and the fact that she was called to do the ministry, it always drove me and it always pushed me to not only pursue my relationship with God, but just to allow God to point me in the direction of being in Mod Squad. I will say I have not always been here. There was at one point where I left and I had went to San Francisco, California, and God told me to come back because he said he had so much in store for this ministry and that he believed that I was going to be able to do it and that I was going to be able to just withstand everything that comes with it. And I was like, okay, God, I trust you. So I came back right before the pandemic hit. So the pandemic didn't really uproot me. God did. And he brought me back here. And from then I've grown nothing but passionate and love for my community, love for helping youth just not only find themselves, but find themselves in Christ. And it always warms my heart to be at the Mod Squad building or do anything Mod Squad related. So
if the Mod Squad was not a resource in Hardin County and for others around our community, what would happen to people?
That's a great question. I don't even know what would happen to me, so I can't even imagine how it would affect the community. I thank God that he's allowed us to be a staple and that a lot of people are able to come to us with any type of needs, and he allows us to meet them with love, never with hatred, never with jealousy, never with turning our nose up, because we always understand that it could be us in the position of someone who is in need. So I don't know. If Mod Squad wasn't in the community, I don't know.
Is it a resource for someone to say, you know what, I want to start this business, or you know what, I'm looking for a contractor, I'm looking for a realtor. Please guide me in the right direction with someone you know that can help me out. Is it also just a way of giving people guidance that just needs some help?
Yes, as far as business guidance, that is what Ms. Pittman does, and she does it well because I handle the educational aspect of the house, but Ms. Pittman has the business side of the house down. She can answer questions that if they were brought to me, I would be like, pray about it and talk to God. But she's able to provide all the resources for, if you need a realtor, she has one. If you need a contractor, she has one. If you need contracting work, she has it. So as far as if you're a business owner in need of any type of business advice, Miss Pittman is always at the building, and she is always willing and ready to give that advice to you. So yes, ma'am.
How important is, Dewena, this resource for folks in Radcliff? I'm assuming that, we know that Radcliff is a small community. People need help.
Yes. I would say that the Mod Squad is a strong steeple within the community. People always come to us in need, and the Lord is always allowing us to provide them with whatever they're in need of, even if we don't have it ourselves. So I would just say it, not necessarily the Mod Squad, but God's presence within Mod Squad is a strong steeple within the community. And it's what allows people to be drawn to us, is the presence and the love of God. So it is pretty strong. I would say we are very strong, and God is not allowing us to move or go anywhere, because he has big plans for this community, and he loves the Radcliff community and surrounding that have poured into us and poured into his ministry. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Dewena, for the work that you do. Again, if you want information on Pies with a Purpose, Cakes with a Cause, again, that's happening Saturday, June 29th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Mod Squad Outreach Community Ministry. That's located at 500 West Trail Boulevard in Radcliff. Dewena, is there anything that I did not ask you today that you want folks to know about?
I just want you all to know that we are a ministry, like I said, open arms, we are accepting, and we love the fact that there are a lot of people in the community who are wanting to give. If there's anything that Ms. Pittman would like to add.
You can jump in, Ms. Pittman, if you would like to add. This fundraiser helps keep your mission going, right?
Yes, it does. And we have a host of celebrities that are coming. We have Raquel Herring, we have Chase Dillon, we have Razor Ruddock, we have Justin Kinsharo, I'm sorry. And we just have a host of celebrities that are coming down to interact with these kids. And the reason the reason God had us bring the celebrities in is to allow children to see that they can be these same people, that they can achieve these same goals, that things are not out of their reach. And yes, we are still in need of corporate sponsors. Yes, we are definitely in need of that. It's going to be a grand time of just bonding through basketball. The bowling, I think, is going to be the hit, because the kids get to bowl from 9 to 12. And then we're going to have an adult bowl off. Now, that's going to be interesting, especially for people like me, because I still need bumpers, and I'm 50 years old. And that's because I'm going to be part of that bowl off. It's not the fact of whether or not I win. It's the fact that I get to stand next to Raquel Herring, who was on Ed McMahon's Star Search, and she was the longest running teen, and she won. So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get that photo op 24/7, even if I look like a 2-year-old bowling.
Well, that's great. Thank you both for the great work that you do. So please share this on your social media pages. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So let folks know about the positive work that the Mod Squad is doing and how they can take part in their upcoming fundraiser. We wanted to help them kind of parachute up into getting more folks involved in the community. So ladies, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the positive work that you're doing in our community. Have a wonderful day. I'm Myra Ansari. Have a great weekend.